Hello everyone, welcome back to hour number 2 for Die Party Blood Use Hollow Earth Die Party Hollow Earth Expedition, week number 8. Um, it's Blood Use rolls
Ah,
off the tongue a lot easier than Hollow Earth Expedition, that's for damn sure. Um, we are playing game day right now. This is a
Then call it
14-hour TTRPG
X.
marathon. Where we've got another two more games after this one to go through, so yeah, but we're back now. Rex.
Wreck.
God damn it. I knew I should have picked a different name. Like, it's just...
both Rex.
Yeah.
Both
The
of you.
game is Hex. You are Rex, and I am Wreck. You,
Yep, we're fucked.
you didn't think this through.
Anyway,
so you gotta go
welcome
with
back,
Arch.
everybody. Let's get back into it, so...
Right. It's a fun morning over here at the Die Party offices in beautiful Covent Garden. Anyway,
Okay.
before we pick up with Rex and the amazing things that are behind that door, which are all amazing and definitely worth sticking
Yeah,
around
definitely
for.
things too.
Yeah. Maction and Arch. Maction, you're sort of aware of how well the ruse has gone off, in that you are pretty confident the abbot wasn't fooled. Arch, basking in the magnificence of your own performance, finish breakfast.
Like I do.
That is to say, breakfast is coming to an end, and there has been no return from your compatriot. His success is not known to you, so I'm only highlighting the fact that breakfast is ending, and if you may want to do something to follow up on your little plan, now's the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, hey Otto, maybe I should grab a drink to steady my nerves. You want to come with?
Yes, I will. I will.
I exaggeratedly raise my eyebrows and lower them over and over again in his general direction.
Okay. Is this like a fishing trip or something?
Well, no, I mean I was gonna go down to the basement to grab some booze to steady my nerves, and I mime scratching something with a big rock.
God, you're so subtle it hurts.
So I'll say.
Well, that's actually role played straight because I think like Otto tends to be a little oblivious to stuff. So I want to like, let's go down to the basement. And I have a feeling that one,
I will join you for a drink.
and
just-
totally not a rape murder that you're imagining. I'm motioning right now.
Yeah.
All right, so you
Okay.
guys go down to the cellar.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, actually, shoot, I've got the higher. I appear to be a more strong person, so I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna let me see the rock, and I will try to take a scrape. If you want to start pouring a mug and keep an eye on the door, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
So
That's
you
what
wanna
Otto
do
will
it.
do.
Because you're stronger.
I figure that strength is good for putting diamonds through steel or whatever space features magic.
Well, keep in
steel
mind,
stuff.
you just get some.
Well,
you know,
Maction
try
is
and
the one who
gouge
wants
the-
the scrapings and is also aware of what he needs off of it.
All right. Yeah.
I'm
If
just.
it-
I
if it-
mean, you guys can do whatever. I'm just.
I just assumed it would be a brute force type of attack, but yeah, I was like, all right, whichever one of us.
Well,
you know-
Maction's goal is not to break in. His goal is to acquire a sample.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I just don't know how incredibly magically strong this steel stuff is.
Well,
That
it
is
might be
exactly
super
what we're
magically
here to
strong,
find out.
but maybe you guys will
Alright.
have to work together. Let's see.
Ah,
Who
lame.
wants to do a thing? Who wants to make a roll? Who wants to try this?
Let's.
What kind of a
let
roll
you
is it?
try.
Like, what's so?
Well,
all right, I'll
tell me what you're doing.
putting
I'll
a
say
sharp
like a-
edge of the diamond against a steel and screeching it down like fingernails on a chalkboard, trying to get a curl of metal to come off.
Okay, who's doing it?
I'll try first, and then if you want to try a second, if I don't manage to pull it off.
So you're using the pointy end of the diamond, and you're just scraping it against the metal.
I might go flat end to get more of a curl effect.
Okay.
The sharp flat, not the pointy end, because pointy end will just gouge a scrape.
Uh-huh. I see what you're saying.
So-
So you're
So
just
how would I go about doing that? Just
you do it, There's nothing stopping you. There's no need for a roll.
Oh,
Um,
okay, cool.
There is a loud metal scraping sound that echoes up from the basement and easily into the rest of the monastery.
Shit.
I assume you stop immediately when you realize how loud it is. So it is
Did
very
I, did I get any? Did any scrapes come off when I did that loud screech?
as far as you can tell, nothing happened.
Fuck. Yeah, I'm gonna palm the
It
diamond
looks
back.
like more sediment from earlier scraped off. But that's but the you don't see any obvious metal shavings.
I'm gonna say, hey Otto, you want to come over here and give this a try? I'll try to distract some people over if they come down to investigate.
No, I think you have
No?
proven the point quite well. Let's just
Okay.
get out of here.
Get the fuck out! Yeah, let's GT the FO. So I grab the. Hopefully, one of those mugs should be somewhat full. I'm gonna just grab it and make it look like I've been trying to steady my nerves. Then we're getting the fuck out.
Okay,
So-
you leave. Meanwhile,
Up in Fantasyland, where all the cool stuff is.
maybe, who knows? So on the other side of the door is more stairs. It's important to point out that the way that this, where this door was, so the way that the stairs work in the rest of the monastery is that to go to one level to the next, there are stairs, a landing that's in between the two levels, and then and then stairs that come back. You know what I mean?
Sure,
Um,
yeah.
And the door that locked you up from this floor was on the landing in between the two floors.
Okay, makes
so-
sense.
So there is, a few more stairs on the other side of this door, and then you are in a hallway, which looks like all the other hallways on all the other floors. This hallway extends either side of this wall of the monastery, and there is a doorway in the hall, leading into presumably whatever room or a hallway in multiple rooms takes up this level.
Now, Rec, you're free to argue away this, but I believe that Rex is very versed in investigating crime scenes and taking information into a room and so his whole thing is beating the police force to whatever they were supposed to be doing, right? That's how he's always made his money as a PI. He gets there first, or maybe not there first, but he finds out what he needs to find first, and he doesn't share it with the police force, and then he solves.
Well, at the very least, he solves the case first, or gets the information first.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. Was he okay? Where are you going with it?
So, I would argue that he is very good at passing scenes and finding things that stick out.
Well, you will have a roll,
That's what I'm saying.
but you will have the same roll regardless of.
Yeah.
You have however many dice. you have, so.
Yeah, I'm not arguing for more die. I'm saying that this is what he's good at. This is his specialty. Going into a room and then immediately finding things that are important to whatever it is that he's trying to do.
Well, we'll see about that. But
Okay,
yeah, we have to get into this room first, or you have to go in. You have to open the door.
Well, I'll go in. That's what I'm saying. I'm setting the scene. That's what I'm saying. I'm setting the scene.
Okay, you open the door. It is a large door, but it's not doubled. It's not a double door. It is a single door, but it is rather large. As you swing it open, you hear the crinkling of paper and parchment on the other side.
So instantly I know that this door has been set to know if someone's been in there or not, obviously.
Or you just smashed a couple of priceless scrolls because you swung it too hard.
Or the room is filled with papers, which it is. There is scrolls and books stacked all around in this room.
Even on the floor in front of the door?
Yep.
Interesting. How is there a way that I can discern how long it's been since someone's been in this room?
Let me finish the description of the room
Okay.
before you ask some questions. The room itself is looks like it takes up most of this floor, although you're not quite sure.
Okay.
It goes along on the level that you are for a little while, where all these books and parchments are stacked. Then there are some steps and a raised platform upon which you can see many bookshelves, many smaller tables, and a large table that has a large chair behind it. The chair itself is velvet, comfy, looks almost like a bit of a throne. It's a really nice chair. The bookshelves and desk are all made of thick, carved, ornate wood. There are windows all along the walls to illuminate the room, and there's even a skylight that assists in illuminating the room as well.
Okay.
The books and scrolls and papers are all everywhere, including spilling off of the desk in question, even down the stairs. And there's basically one big scroll that rolls off the desk, along the floor, and pretty much right up to the door.
Yeah, so I'm going to take a look at some of the contents of the scrolls. Actually,
It's
my
language you can't read.
Okay. My first question is then, how does it look like the room has been used in a while? Like, is it dust accumulating on things? Like, what are we doing?
There's certainly dust on some things, but there is not a thick layer of dust on everything.
Does it look like there is a pathway between the scrolls up to the desk?
Not well. There's certainly it's certainly passable. It's not like a forest of crap.
Okay.
There's very few spots on the floor that are exposed. But perhaps a very nimble individual could move graciously without disturbing any papers to the desk.
That is not me.
Yeah, you're not a very nimble individual.
Well, I'm going to make my way to the desk.
All right, you basically will shuffle through the papers and parchment and I assume just sort of push them aside or step on them callously.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Guess it's...
Yeah.
All right, well, you leave obvious footsteps on the parchments. Your boots have been walking around outside in the dirt. It's pretty obvious that someone's been in here now.
That's fine. I'm not too worried about that.
All right, if you're not worried about it, you're not worried about it.
So I go up to the desk and I take a look at it.
Yeah, the desk has all of these papers and scrolls and parchments on it, books, etc.
Any drawers?
The desk has drawers.
I will open them.
All right.
But I'll do it in such a way to see if it is like got any sort of like lock. I'm also looking for false floors. I'm also looking for anything with a switch or anything like that in there.
All right, well, roll investigation then.
All right. I believe my investigation is lower than my empathy, but just double checking. Yes, it's 8. Okay. Wow! Are you fucking kidding me? This game, I swear to God.
Holy Christ.
Pretty much everything is paper, scrolls, and parchments in a language that you can't read, and it very quickly dissuades you from the idea that you're going to be able to glean anything from this room, because, I mean, you just find one paper or one book or one scroll after another, and they're all in some sort of strange, symbolic, pictographic language that you've never read or seen. Nothing in and you're not stupid, right? So you're acutely aware
Dice be damned.
You're acutely aware of other languages on Earth.
Yeah.
And these are clearly none of them. It's not like this is French or Spanish or German. There's certainly no Russian or Chinese.
It's an alien language.
It's a language that you've never even seen.
If I was to like write this language down elsewhere, could I do that?
Well, you've got a photographic memory, so you could, but you would have to. So you have a photographic memory.
Yes.
Without doing anything in particular, you could write some of the symbols down, some of the letters, essentially. But if you wanted to take a passage from like a specific thing, you would have to grab a specific thing and study it for a moment so that you could get all the exact pictographs in the exact order.
All right, so here's what I want.
Okay.
the big scroll that's on the desk that's rolled out towards the door,
Uh,
whatever part he's up to,
whatever part is right there in front of the chair.
yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
look at that and memorize that. The other thing I'm going to be doing is, as I said, this is why this game is just fucking mind-boggling. I created a character about investigating things, and he doesn't have a presumed level of being okay at it. It's pretty much like it's
Well, I
completely
mean,
up to the die.
in
Well,
the
on the other
defense,
hand,
yeah, there's a flip side to
with
that
the
coin,
lock
Dave.
picking roll, you had 9 dice.
Yeah.
The average would have been 4,
Yeah.
and you needed 7 to succeed. So you rolled above average on that dice and
Wait,
succeed.
I needed exactly 7 to succeed.
Yes, it was originally a 6 DC
Oh,
lock.
wow.
Failing
Fuck.
once moved it up to a 7 DC lock. So you wouldn't have been able to get through that lock without getting above average on your lock picking roll. Now you've gotten below average on your investigation roll. And to
It
make
just-
you feel
yeah.
better, there weren't any false bottoms or switches or anything, so your
Alright.
investigation roll wasn't going to find anything anyway.
Okay, fantastic. Yep. Well, all right. So I'm just gonna memorize what I can see on the scroll. Was there any other doors or anything like that in that hallway?
Well, there are certain... not in that hallway.
Hmm.
So outside, there weren't any other obvious rooms.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of bookshelves and shelves around the desk that also contain not just books but things. Unless you expressly tell me otherwise, I would assume you would take a look around there
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
no, yeah. I'm not just like looking in the room, looking at the other. Okay, see you later. Like I'm gonna take
All
my
right.
time. I'm gonna pass the room.
So you are
somewhere.
taking your time, also.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
no one knows I'm assuming that no one knows I'm here. So
Okie doke.
I have complete faith in Archer's ability to pretend that he's a madman.
I've pretended amazingly. Just
Well, you are just intuitively aware that it took you 10 minutes to pick the lock, and having spent some time in this room, breakfast is likely ending or over.
I also assume the monks don't give a fuck about me, which has pretty much been the point that I've gotten up until now.
Nah.
I've been free to explore, do whatever, and it seems
Okay.
like no one's going to stop me. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So you are checking out the bookshelves and shelves.
Yep.
Are you looking for secret switches and stuff? Do you want to roll
I'm looking
investigation?
for things that aren't books or papers or scrolls, things that stick out, things that would
Okay.
be, hide secret compartments, anything like that.
All
Basically,
right, then roll me investigation.
another one. Okay, I guess this is a different.
This is well, you investigated the desk.
What the
And
fuck?
I
These
investigate-
rolls, my god, what the fuck, man? Like, anyway, yeah, 8
This is how the dice
successes,
pool system works.
7 successes, yeah,
you find every little ball of lead possible.
yeah. These rolls.
You study the bookshelves. There are various things that you can't really make heads or tails of. A strange pyramid-shaped object that is being used as a book stop for rope books. A strange orb. Basically, it goes on and on like that. They don't look particularly impressive or interesting or special. Behind a set of books, you do notice in a pile of dust and cobwebs something that catches your eye.
Okay.
You see a faint green glow coming from behind a row of books just before they touch the back of the bookshelf.
Okay. I will take the books out, I suppose.
So you move the books in question. There's about 6 of them that are blocking this thing. On this particular section of the bookshelf, the dust and cobwebs are so intense that they practically peel away from the back of the bookshelf with the books, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, sort of like Indiana Jones, like walking through like an entire thing. It's like,
Yeah, it's really intense. Just how cobwebby this is. Sitting there on the shelf in a pile of dust and cobwebs is a small glass dragon that glows green.
Well, I'm glad we
Does it
found.
glow green
what-
or turquoise?
That's what's his face. That's what Mr. U wanted.
Yeah. I smile to myself. I'm like, fucking monks. And then
Oh,
I pocket
you.
this. Actually, I pick it up gingerly to see how fragile it is first.
Well, it feels like glass in your hand. It feels like it's filled with a liquid, but you don't see any air bubbles. It's just sort of, it's perfectly full.
Does it
if
have
that
a
makes-
lid?
It has a cork in it. Well, it's not really a cork. But it does essentially
stopper.
look like it is corked. The dragon, well, at least how it was resting on the shelf, you're allowed to do whatever you want with it. There's a perfectly carved Eastern-style dragon that makes up the body of the glass. At the bottom, there is some sort of nozzle, and that is filled with a solid substance that's sort of gray in nature. It's not really, cork like from a wine bottle.
Yeah.
And it stands on that. It's upright on its you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it actually rests on its cork.
Okay. Well, how obtuse is this object? Is it like a dragon that's sort of flat in a bottle form, or is it like round, like?
It sort of
Okay.
coils, but it basically makes it's basically just a little bit bigger than a salt shaker. I mean,
Okay. Is it like if someone patted me down, would they find it?
totally, because
Okay.
it's I mean, it's not a piece of paper.
All right.
It's,
In that case, is there a way that I can like hide it on my body efficiently?
How big is it anyway?
Like I said, it's just a little bit bigger than a salt shaker.
Gotcha. My bad.
Well, I mean, and salt shakers come in many shapes and
So,
sizes.
I've got
It's-
a few things that could potentially help with this. I've got a hidden sling for a pistol,
Uh-huh.
which might be a good place to put it. And if need be, I could potentially even like put it inside like a first aid pack that I'm carrying around or something like that.
I mean, you can hide it wherever you choose to hide it, and
My first thought was to like strap it to my body so I know it's there all the time. Like maybe like to my in a thigh or something like that.
well, that is if someone pats you down, that'll make it easier to find, as opposed to searching. Well, so if someone pats you down, right?
Yeah.
They're patting you down.
Yeah, that's fine. They'll find it if they pat me down. But what I'm trying to say is, I want to know that it's on my body 100%
Right.
of the time.
Well, then you do. Well, you can. It wouldn't really. You could more than easily strap it to your body somehow.
Yeah.
It wouldn't just be in the pistol sling, because it'd be too loose in that. It'd fall out really easily. So you can very easily, just tie it with your belt. I mean, there's nothing preventing you from doing that. It's just you don't
what
have.
about this glow? Does it show up through clothing?
Why don't you check? I mean,
Yeah. I mean, you tell me.
so basically, if you put it under your trench coat, it's fine. But
Okay.
if you put it under like your shirt or your pants, it comes through that, because those are thinner
All
fabrics.
right, here's what I want to do. I'm going to strap it to my underarm. Like, I'm going to get like something like maybe when I get down or whatever, I'm going to basically tape it to like you know how you'd wrap up your chest if you got like a cut or something. I'm going to do that, except it's going to be basically sitting under my underarm, like sort of thing, like where the sling would go, but it's going to be strapped to my actual body, so I know it's there.
Now, are you sitting down and doing this in the office, or are you just pocketing it now and leaving?
I'll pocket it now because I don't have the obvious bandages to do this myself.
All right. Are you now? And this is important, or maybe it isn't. Are you holding on to it and putting it in your pocket and keeping your fist around it, or are you putting it in your pocket and then trying to be nonchalant?
Can I basically pocket it but keep my hand in my pocket?
Yeah, you can totally do that. I'm just, your
yeah,
hands
yeah.
in your pocket.
Yep. Now that I've got this, is there anything else in the room that sticks out?
Nothing that sticks out. There's a lot of stuff in the room,
All right.
but to you, and what you know, and what is important to you, nothing is particularly standing out. It all seems very esoteric, mystical, it looks like a wizard's library. There's a bunch of random crap, and to you, the layman, it's all equally, the fucking pyramid on the shelf could be the most powerful thing in the entire universe, or literally a paperweight with no significance.
So that you mentioned, like anything that seems mystical or whatever. I'm gonna take a look at that.
Everything in here seems mystical.
All right. Well, nothing.
Nothing in here
Except
seems
for the
plain.
ashtray.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's a very normal looking ashtray.
All right. So I'm gonna be looking.
You
in
would never
particular
want to
for
put out a
things
cigarette
like,
in it.
Things like maybe it looks like a weapon, or it looks like something that Otto would be able to use in some way. Like I'm trying to identify something that could be useful to the party.
You've already
Aw,
been here
that's
for a
so
while.
kind of you. Something
and
that'd be useful to me.
Nothing stands out. You really can't
Like,
tell
say,
the function of anything.
Okay. Well.
There isn't like some ancient Tibetan version of the shotgun I have or
Yeah.
something.
All right then. So
Yeah.
maybe anything. Anything in a vial or anything that can use as something that, because I know that Otto has had trouble finding things right in the past.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
I'm
well,
gonna be
like
looking for things
there's
that
nothing here that you have any frame of reference for. So I'll just say it again.
Metals, no
There's-
glassware, nothing like that.
Well, the things here are made of things, but you can't really even tell what they're made of. The pyramid isn't any stone that you've recognized before. The sphere isn't. It could be glass. It could be a gem. It could be a type of quartz or something. You're not even aware. Many of these things have.
See, this is where I wish I had something to appraise objects in some way.
Well, appraise isn't magical. Even if you had an appraise skill, nothing in this
I'm not
room.
looking for magical things. I'm looking for useful things.
Well, right, but and that's what I'm saying. Nothing in this room is you have any frame of reference for. Even if you had an appraise skill, even if you had the geology skill, you'd have to make rolls to figure out if any of this stuff is even anything that you're remotely.
Yeah, I'm
aware of.
willing to make rolls.
It's all right, but my point is, it's all like even if Otto was in this room, he'd be like, "Oh, is this pyramid something that I am even aware of what it is?" And I would ask him to roll, and it would probably be no.
Okay.
I'm trying to communicate how everything in this room is esoteric and completely unknowable. So you have no frame of reference to know if it's useful or not useful.
All right. So with my 7 successes on my investigation,
You found the
I
vial.
found the vial, and nothing else in the room sticks out at all to me whatsoever.
Nothing else sticks out, from itself.
Okay.
It's all very weird, like in a downtown pizza shop or something. But this whole room is otherwise, it's all brown, if that makes any sense. It's all the same shade of mystical, mysterious brown. Nothing in particular stands out from each other.
All right. And what about other exits to this room? Did I find anything?
No, you didn't find any, switch or lever that exits the room into somewhere else.
What about doors?
No, not anything obvious anyway. Not in the search of the bookshelves or in the search of the desk. And you are coming up on at least 10 minutes spent in this room, maybe more. So 20 minutes since you disappeared and 10 minutes since breakfast ended.
I'm going to take this opportunity to take a look out one of the windows since I'm
Okay.
higher up.
Random window?
Well, let's say any sort of window that has the clearest view of the surrounding region.
So multiple windows and then figuring out which one has the best view and then looking out that one.
Yep.
Well, I suppose it's which direction you're interested in because there's a window on each wall. There's windows on all the walls except for the wall that has the hallway.
Okay.
And door.
Let's. I'm here. I might as well take a look at each one.
Okay. One window looks out onto out over the cliff and onto the forest. From the height of the monastery, you barely see the cliff, and you mostly see the forest shrouded in mist and the mountains on the other side.
Okay.
Another window looks out into the space that's behind the monastery. Behind the monastery in relation to the monastery village. You see huts, shed type things, structures made out of stone, gardens. It seems like uh, back here, a lot of things are being made. You even see one of the huts with a little bit of smoke rising out of it. It looks like they use this the backyard, so to speak, is where they might make the beer, or there might be a distillery in one of those rooms.
Is there a way that I can get to this place?
Yeah, I mean it's always been access to you. You never really explored the monastery grounds.
All right. Okay.
All you have to do is walk behind the monastery.
Sure. All right. So far, it's keeping in expectations as to what I believe should be there is there.
And then the other view is in between the monastery and the mountains.
Yeah.
So the view that is cut off from you by the hallway is the view that would look out over the village.
Yeah.
And this third view is you're quite high up, and there's a sliver of you can't see the monastery grounds below because you're too high up.
Yeah.
And it's too narrow next to the monastery on this side.
Yeah.
Before a little sliver of forest starts, and that forest spreads up a little bit, and then turns eventually into the sheer mountain face of this side of Shangri-La.
Okay.
If you're looking at the map, you basically know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. All right. All right. Rex is satisfied.
Okie doke.
He believes this is everything that he can find of value in this room. He's memorized whatever portion of
scroll.
Section of
Yep.
scroll. He's found what he's come here for, which is fantastic. Now he just needs to get the fuck out of here somehow. And, yeah.
Into the waiting arms of the abbot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I will then make my way down, same way I came out.
Okie doke.
And if I see I don't know if this is something that needs to be a roll, but if I come in and I see that I've left a footprint on a piece of paper, I'm just gonna flip that piece of paper. Just do the basic covering my tracks unless someone is absolutely looking for tracks. They're not gonna find it, sort of thing. So.
Okay, well, because of how careless you stated you were on your way in,
Yeah.
I will say a particularly egregious boo-boo is that there is a footprint on the scroll that spans the entire room, which would be quite difficult to flip.
Okay. I see what you're
There's
saying.
footprints on a lot of paper,
Yeah.
but there's one on the giant scroll.
Well, then I will just ignore it, I guess. I mean, the damage
All
is
right.
done, so I'm not gonna.
Damage done.
Yeah.
We're just going to leave.
Maybe put a piece of paper on top of it. I don't know.
No one can save you. The damage is done.
Well, yeah, you can do that. There's a loose piece of paper that you put on top of that.
Shot through the heart.
Done. Basically, if someone comes
You're
in here
to
and
blame.
goes, "Is anybody in there?" Okay, I don't see any muddy footprints on the giant fucking scroll. Perfect. Close the door again. That's what I
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how well that holds up.
Yeah.
Or maybe we won't.
Hmm.
Excuse me? All right, you're leaving. Are you trying to leave? You enter the hallway just fine. There's nobody there.
Yep.
There's the stairs and the door. And are you going to make any effort to be stealthy or aware, trying to listen for people? What's
Rex
going?
is always aware. He's gonna do some sort of make sure there's no one on the other side of the door for one.
Okay, why don't you roll me perception to see how that goes?
Okay, my perception is 7.
That's
Oh
a good
god, every time you
score.
have a high number, you end up rolling crappy.
Well, no. He
4?
sometimes
Oh,
rolls
okay.
crappy and sometimes rolls well.
4 works.
Yeah, you do hear someone walking past, but they walk past and continue on and disappear. So it sounds like the coast is clear at whatever moment that you make the attempt.
All right, I will open the door.
All right, the door's locked, but you are capable
Now,
of.
did this lock when I closed the door, or did this lock because I made the door lock?
You didn't check,
Okay,
so
I assume the door locks when I close it. Then cool.
well,
Alright,
yeah,
then.
you're not aware.
Well, no, I assume. That's why I said I assume. So.
Right, yeah. But you know what you have to do.
Yeah,
So you just do that again. It just takes some more time.
that's fine.
And for all you know, it might be a little audible, but hopefully not. You slide the discs back into place. There's no roll necessary. unless you want to roll just to see if you can do it really quickly.
No, I'm
Okay, all right.
I have no
just do it.
reason to rush. So,
All right.
as I said, I believe the monks have literally no interest in me
Okay.
now that they've disarmed me and all that stuff. So,
All right. You unlock it in due time. Takes a couple minutes, but you do it. Not 10 because 10 was figuring it out.
Mhm.
But it takes a couple minutes to succeed. And you open the door, and you don't see anyone. There's no monk standing there agog at you or anything like that.
sure.
You are capable of moving back into the monastery and doing whatever.
All right, I will leave the monastery and go straight to Otto Schultz's house.
Okie doke. Now, Otto Schultz, in the 10 minutes since your diamond scraping adventure ran into a roadblock, have you done anything?
Screeching halt, if you will.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Screeching
Wow.
help. So how
Other
is it that the first scrape
How
wasn't
punny.
so audible? Like,
The
Because
first.
it only went against the grit.
The first scrape was a tiny little tool and a tiny little collection thing, and he was just scraping against it. He just took a diamond the size of a fist, put it completely up against iron
Alright,
bar,
yeah.
and down.
Fair enough.
He used the entire surface of the diamond too. He didn't use the pointy end. He said, "I used the flat bit at the top, and I put it flush with the bar."
The problem is, if I do the pointy end, I'm not likely to get a curl to come off. I'm more likely to gouge a furrow in it. The only way I can get something to actually peel off is using an edge
Frank,
that
I'm
is
not
properly angled.
disagreeing with your methodology for acquiring a bit of metal. I mean, maybe I am, but I'm not necessarily. I'm just saying that's why it was so much louder than anything else they've attempted before.
Okay.
All right, so in the 10 minutes since Screeching Halt pun, when have you done anything else? Have you done anything other than just return home and?
Probably I would have wanted to go through the dormitory area just to see if there are any other monks around.
I mean, the dormitory areas are actually quite bustling just after breakfast.
Okay, never mind then.
You see that it's full of people.
Otto would have just headed straight on home.
Okay, Otto heads
Yep.
straight home.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back because I was gonna see if I could maybe check like chests and stuff for one of those necklace thingies, but if everyone's there staring at me,
The gold leaf Legend of Zelda style chests that are at the foot of everyone's bed in the.
well, the thing is that the monks have they have a few monk possessions. I'm guessing if they don't wear all their shit to the bathroom and stuff too. So
This chest contains the map for Shangri-La. This chest
I
contains
need the
Takes the
compass, or
compass.
else I can't
Tells
find
you
out
where
where
the treasure
all the
is.
maps are.
It tells you where all
Yeah.
the things are, and then the third chest contains the boss room key.
Don't forget
okay.
the item you need to take on the boss.
Right, the item that unlock the item that unlocks the
Boomerang.
key and is the
Wait,
item
you're
that also
telling me that the
boss.
fist-sized diamond of unearthly screeches is not what's going to kill the boss?
No, yeah,
Shit.
that's not the the boomerang. It's
Not the empty,
actually
not the empty pistol of ruseness.
no. You know what it is? This is what it totally is. It's the hook shot. The hook shot's here in this one. Because
Perfect.
when you're in the forest floor, you can hook shot the monastery to go straight to the top of the cliff.
Cool. Yeah.
It's
So
always the fucking.
So
And then-
I cut off my legs and I now move around only by hookshot. So
A small
Okay, well,
piece of hay.
you're in a stone hallway.
Yeah.
damn it. I guess I'll just
Yeah.
walk on my hands.
There's no wood.
Roll to see if you remembered to oil the hook shot the last 50 times you used it. Nope, it's rusted shut.
It's Legend of Zelda. That hookshot is always oiled. It's fucking magic. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
But this is
you
Hex.
spend
This
the
isn't
fif-
Legend of
You
Zelda.
spend the 15 XP to get the hookshot.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna head back then.
wanted a hookshot, and you could do that.
Actually, you know what?
Artifact.
No, never mind. Yeah.
That could totally be one. Just putting that out there. If anyone is actually genuinely interested in that.
Yeah.
I'm interested in seeing if Rick can survive self-dismemberment, and then we'll make the hook shot while he's healing up, and then we'll see how it works.
It's
Anyway.
all Earth, man. You cut off your legs.
Otto.
And it goes back.
Jawohl.
Mhm.
You make it back to your hut. Arch follows slightly behind as you went back on the dormitory.
Yep.
Do you guys wait in abject depression from your failed attempt?
I whistle cheerily.
No, not abject depression.
You have
Yeah,
a fucking giant diamond you can do science with. You'd just be ecstatic, man.
Yeah, start
So
doing
much
sciencey
science.
things.
Yeah, I do have a giant diamond I can do some science with, if nothing else. So, I'm going to
I'm gonna,
inspect the diamond now that we've got a second to, sort of check it out.
It's actually
Um,
glass.
has the
In what?
has the diamond sustained any damage from the screeching halt?
Uh, well,
For fuck's sakes.
your current microscope,
Mm-hmm.
the diamond doesn't fit under it. It's a big ass diamond. To the naked eye, there is no perceptible damage. It is a flawless.
Hang on,
Uh,
guys. The stream has stopped.
Do you know when or where we were when we cut out?
You were talking about diamond stuff. I don't know.
So it cut out right there? Okay, that's fine.
So the microscope, the diamond's too big to fit under my microscope, but it doesn't appear from a cursory examination that there's any sort
With
of...
your naked eye, it
Yeah.
it maintains the appearance as a flawless, fist-sized diamond.
Perfect. Because it would have been most intriguing if the iron bars, had actually damaged the diamond. So...
Well, the entire experience lasted less than a few moments, which is
Yeah.
as long as it took Arch to realize what he was doing was incredibly noisy.
Mhm.
I would say that nothing could be objectively learned from what happened, other than don't take the large flat end, put it flush with the bar, and pull it down.
Indeed. I think that is safe. All right. Well, then, in that case, I think Otto's going to start considering his next move with regards to isolating more of that turquoise reagent, which will mean more trips to the basement. However, decisively less noisy trips to the basement.
Maybe even work out a way to
I
mute the sound some way.
Well, I
Damn.
suppose enough fuzzy blankets could do the trick.
but then we're gonna be carrying fuzzy blankets down to where all the booze is. That's gonna be a little suspicious.
Well, as long as we crack open one of those barrels and stash all the fuzzy blankets inside of an empty wooden barrel,
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Now you're getting elaborate.
it's a horrible idea.
What could possibly go
What's the
wrong?
worst?
After your inspection of the diamond, and you make some tea, and you sit and think for a while about what your next move could potentially be, that would be about when Rex would return, assuming that you go to Otto's house
I
when
did
you're
say
done.
I was, yes.
Yeah, so then you would show up at that point with tea already waiting.
Now, here's the question. Does Rex knock on the door, or does he just burst in?
I walk in. I don't knock.
Yeah,
I see.
he's a huge Rudy.
I give him that upwards eyebrow. So, anything good?
Ah, yes. Glad you asked.
And also, was I not amazing at faking seizures?
I
Oh,
actually
is
did
that
watch.
what you were going for? Seizures? Oh, you were terrible
Shell
at
shock?
it. I have seen seizures before. That was
Faking
nothing
shell
like
shock?
what a seizure looks like.
Gentlemen, please. I pull out the
No.
vial that's glowing
Sir.
and I put it on the table.
Oh,
Oh,
I
motherfucker,
cannot
that's what
wait
you
to have a
wanted.
look at this. Otto's going to go reach for it to take it
Mr.
to...
Otto.
I grab his arm like, yeah, not
Is-
yet. Not.
Is there a problem? I thought we were going to investigate this.
This is what I've been paid
I
to
pulled
retrieve.
them.
You will not open it. You will
Wait,
not
no,
investigate it. We are not opening it whatsoever.
I see. Would you at least allow me to examine it under the microscope?
Actually, I tap Rex on the shoulder and I say, tilt our head over to another room. Can I have a moment with my compatriot person here?
Yeah,
Alright,
yeah, we'll
as long
have
as
a...
you
have a
promise
moment.
me not to open it, you are free to investigate.
All right,
I
so just
give
take
you
it with
my
us.
word as a scientist, I will not be opening the vial.
Everyone's
Very
a
well.
scientist never thought of anything bad.
However,
Alright.
Arch, what did you want to talk to me about?
I kind of think we should be able to cut. You think we should cut him in all the way?
Well, it depends. Is he interested in leaving? Because that is the next point of what I'm trying to get to.
That's the thing. If we cut him in all the way, I think he'll be more interested in leaving. And
Very
also,
well.
wasn't this thing that you wanted, or was this supposed to be the cure thing?
I believe this is the cure, and I'm going to take this back to...
No, you have no reason to suspect that. This is the thing that you were paid.
That's the thing that you want us to get.
This is the thing that not you either, Dr. Zhang.
Oh, Dr. Zhang, yeah.
Yeah.
You was talking to the other dude.
You it didn't have any requests or desires
Yeah, it's
as far as
Gotcha.
you know.
The
Yeah, Dr.
time
Zhang got my stereotypical Asian villain.
You still also have that root thing.
Oh yeah, no, I've got the route.
Yeah.
I'm saving that. Went the inevitable running through the.
Yeah, so this is what I believe that this has some... I have... You know what? I believe the healing of this place is actually just being here. So as far as I'm concerned, Maximilian would be happy with anything that we brought back from Hollow Earth, be that a placenta... what do they call it?
Placenta?
Placebo.
Yeah. Be that a placebo
a
or
placenta?
what? Yeah.
Well, I say, why don't we just bring them some of that really, really, really good booze and say the whole land is filled with this stuff, and if the booze doesn't help, then you can probably get there and get it healed yourself.
Arch, I think you're a genuinely great guy, but that is the stupidest idea I've ever heard.
Not quite. I'm going to say, hey, the only reason you survive is there's something in the air. You can't bottle the air.
That's what I'm saying.
But
That's why I'm saying
we don't
that if we
tell
bring
him
back this
that-
glowing green thing, he's probably going to be very happy with it, regardless of whether it actually heals
But,
it or not.
and that, yeah, but the thing is, we can keep the glowing green thing for ourselves and bring him back the booze or some other object, which, and as far as I remember, it's the best booze in the world. Tell him it's some magic secret potion, and then just book it.
It's literally just booze. He's not an idiot.
Right,
Also,
was it
if
like
he didn't get better after drinking it, he would probably still kill you.
hence the book it?
Well, how about just telling him what? Never mind. You guys keep having your amusing little conversation.
So either way,
Yeah.
I don't believe there's anything to be gained with further exploration of at least the top of the monastery.
Yeah,
I did find a few more things, but most of it looked like just knickknacks and
Odds and ends, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably priceless, but useless to us.
Well, we got a
Okay.
fist-sized diamond. As far as I'm concerned, that's probably got the most
pretty
real
fucking
value
nice.
back in real life.
Okay.
Um,
I say, then you know what? That's all right. I can go with that. But we're probably gonna want to why don't we have this auto guy do some tests on this glowing green thing just to
I
see?
would rather not open it. The last thing we opened melted a man's face.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, I'm guessing he just probably had it coming or whatnot. But
All I
he was a
know is
Nazi.
that this is of some value to
All right.
one of Maximilian's enemies, regardless whether or not it actually heals a person, is completely irrelevant.
I'd just like to have an idea what it does before Zhang comes after it, because I have a feeling Zhang's going to try to double cross us once he figures out we got it, if we get out of here.
And in my opinion, Zhang will have no idea that we're back, because we won't even see him. So,
Shady J.
He's also not
I
an
didn't
enemy
trust
of
him either.
Maximilian.
well, he runs
Yeah.
the opposite triads, right?
Maximilian
They're in-
works in America. Dr.
they're on the other
Zhang
side of the
works
world.
in
Yeah.
China. They have no competing interests.
Aside
They were
from the
act-
fact that they were both at the meeting, and aside that they were trying to get the exact same thing.
Oh, no, Zhang
Yeah,
was
they
the one
they
selling-
bid. They were competing with each other on the bid. That's true. They are not competitors in any other sense.
All
Yeah, and then
right.
wasn't
Or
Zhang the one
enemies.
selling?
Anyway, with that, we go back to
All right.
Otto and see if he's found anything out about this green liquid.
All right.
All right. So while they were having their 5-minute lovers' quarrel, Action, how exactly
Really
did you smash
enjoying
it open on the
political
ground?
phrasing, aren't you?
Not even a little bit is how exactly.
No, it was
are
a
you
little-
sure?
It was full on.
Yep,
all right, all right.
absolutely positive.
Okay.
Instead, just a cursory examination under the microscope. Not going to open it, although it would be interesting to try a sort of. Well, no, that'd have to wait. For now, just a look under the microscope.
It is not a fist-sized diamond, so you're able to get it underneath there, and give it a look.
It's that goo from
glows
Ninja Turtles.
green. It gets sort of dimmer around the edges.
It's
That is to
Nickelodeon
say-
Gak.
Its center of mass glows brighter, and its exterior is very dim.
Okie doke.
So, as it goes outwards, it gets darker.
So this glowing fluorescence. What sort of a glow
Radiation.
does it have?
Roll to resist leukemia.
Wouldn't put it past these Shangri-La monks.
Well, it looks like light is streaming in through the other side of, a shallow pool of green water.
Mm-hmm.
That's what kind of glow it looks like. In fact, it has many of those qualities where you can see the sort of rippling in it. You can see movement even when it's stationary. Even when it's been stationary for a while, there appears to be rippling on the inside. There appears to be some sort of movement and shifting in the light.
That's very interesting. I suppose by the time they get back, I've probably tried to blot all the ambient light and lighting, say, only by candle. Maybe it's some sort of a function of the
Put a
UV.
blanket over your head, and then you look through the microscope.
Well, it's definitely got its own. It is definitely its own light source. You can tell by blotting out those
External light sources.
External sources. It's not simply reflecting or magnifying other light. It definitely has its own light.
Gotcha. Reminds me of that little vial of Galadriel, except for green.
I have no idea.
Okay, well, by now, Lord of the Rings, little.
Oh right, yeah, the our most brightest star. Yeah, that thing. It not quite. It doesn't. It doesn't.
Rooms.
It doesn't illuminate by itself. It definitely is its own light source, but if you put a blanket over your head and you have it, it's still very dark in the blanket.
Okay.
You can see it for fun.
Is there
Interesting.
any? While he's doing that, I'm gonna look around his house for a bandage or something like that.
For a what now?
A bandage.
Oh,
Roll a cloth.
Strap of something. Yeah, I mean, sure, you find it. You can if you're going to tie it to there's no nothing to worry about. That simply will. Yeah, it'll happen.
Yeah.
There's nothing stopping you from making it happen. So it simply will happen.
All right then, great. I go talk to Otto and I'm like, so, cursory in examination. What did you find?
Very interesting. It seems to be producing its own light, and even when the liquid remains stationary for quite some time, it has a certain turbulence on the inside.
Does it look volatile?
Volatile. That is so very difficult to assess. For example, sulfuric acid appears to be perfectly stationary when it's not reacting to something, and yet is highly volatile.
I have a feeling
However,
that
if you say...
It might react to oxygen, so...
Really? Oh, this is perfect! We can test this. I can prepare some argon, and we can have it on the layer of argon. If there was no oxygen with which to react, argon's a noble gas. It cannot possibly react with argon. I like where your head is at, Rex. I will begin preparing the argon immediately.
Hey, let's hold off on that one. Maybe I don't know who argon is, but let's hold off on this.
Does it react? Like, does it have any sort of how you open up a bottle of wine and it has the paper on the top of the cork? Does it have anything like that on there?
You have not looked at the sealing mechanism, Otto, up until now, at least by your own speaking.
Yeah.
Looking now that he calls attention to it, it appears to be something that is gray and flush with the glass.
Okay, so...
It's not immediately apparent what it is. It doesn't feel waxy to the touch. To the touch, it feels smooth like stone, but it doesn't have the weight or texture. It doesn't feel like stone, and otherwise doesn't appear to be obviously stone. It's not very weighty. That is to say, the entire thing in your hand isn't heavier towards the cork or anything like that. It's all fairly the same weight. and it is perfectly flush with the glass. You can't tell where it begins and the glass
Otto,
ends.
I have another question for you.
Yeah.
If someone was to drink this thing, what would happen?
Oh. I have absolutely
you know
no
where
idea.
babies come
How
from.
on earth could I know that from just a few moments under the microscope? Besides, the microscope isn't very good. Maybe if we were to get a proper laboratory, some high voltage electricity, some other things, and especially if I were able to extract just a small sample, kept under controlled conditions, of course, then maybe I could give you an answer. But
I give Rex a nudge and like, we can probably get, that's a good idea. Why don't we see about getting ourselves to a proper laboratory, right?
oh,
Nudge,
oh.
nudge on Rex. Like, yeah,
So
like
do
you
you
want
think
to come with us?
do you think that we would be able to construct a proper laboratory with the things behind those iron bars? It would advance the
I'm
work of science
thinking
by decades, perhaps centuries.
the problem with advancing that work of science is that you got to get outside to be able to share it with people, to share it with the world for the betterment of mankind. Yeah, but first of all, we're going to need to get behind those bars.
Well, how did that go?
Noisy?
Yeah,
I think it's
hemming and
the
hawing, loud, a little bit. Apparently, diamonds make a really, really just god awful screeching noise when you try to scrape them against stuff. And we kind of left.
It's not like you're digging
So-
into chalk.
we did learn one very important thing about this. It is highly unlikely we will be able to get past those bars through any sort of brute force attempt. For example, the diamond was completely unable of damaging the bars at all, which means that I had suspected them to be iron, but there must be some form of alloy that I am not familiar with. Something very strong indeed.
Okay,
So,
well, what do you suggest that we actually do to get through this? Because if we're going to leave, we're going to have to get the gear that we previously came with. That includes like climbing
Yeah.
utensils, being able to withstand the cold. Because it seems like
Arch.
the only
Yeah, like
place
heater
that we can
gear.
leave is through the way that we came. So
Arch, tell us once again the tale. Exactly what happened. Spare no detail at all of how you observed those monks to auto shift through the bars.
Now, hold on a second. We'll stop here
Yeah.
for our hour break, and that'll give Frank a moment to remember what he's about to retell, and then we can come
Okay.
back and retell it.
Okay.
Cool.
Or we could just
Alright, back in
assume
a
that
sec.
he told him that over the break. Whatever.
Yeah,
works
sure.
easier. All right,
No,
guys,
I
we'll be
was
back.
actually going to count the whole. Oh, all right.
Well, you're free to
Well-
do that too. We'll be back in 3 to 5, guys. Another 2 more hours of this, and then we've got another 2 games after that to play. So don't go anywhere. There's plenty more Die Party stuff to come.